The evidence presented on this map definitively establishes the legal boundary, confirming the petitioner's assertion.
They built 96 houses on my land while I watched, not by accident, on purpose. My name is Dakota Flint, structural engineer, divorced. I drive a 2008 Silverado that burns a quart of oil every month. My grandfather left me 47 acres of Colorado forest in 2019 with one note tucked inside the deed. Don't let the bastards take what's yours. I didn't visit for 3 years. Divorce, kids in college, 70-hour work weeks. But I paid property taxes every April without fail, $6,400 annually, never late, always online. I kept every email receipt. August 2022. I drove up to scatter Grandpa's ashes and turned off Highway 36 onto the old fire road and my stomach dropped. The pine forest was gone. In its place stood 96 Mediterranean stucco houses with fake balconies and HOA mandated beige paint. A carved stone entrance read Ridgeline Heights, a Whitmore luxury community. I checked my GPS 4 times. Same coordinates. This was my land. Cassandra Whitmore stepped out of a white Range Rover in white linen that probably cost more than my monthly mortgage. She scanned my work boots and calloused hands and filed me somewhere between poor and irrelevant. When I told her I owned the property, she smiled like a locked gate. Our title company ran a forensic search, she said. This land was abandoned. Adverse possession makes it legally ours. All 96 homes sold. $16 million in pre-sales. Families move in by Thanksgiving. She photographed my license plate on her way back to the car. People like you don't win against people like us. That night I spread Grandpa's documents across my kitchen table. The 1971 deed, 47 annual tax receipts, survey maps. He had kept every receipt in leather ledgers that smelled like pipe tobacco and WD-40. Depression-era man, trusted paper more than people. I called an attorney named Lydia Chen who had beaten a railroad company in a Wyoming adverse possession case so badly they offered her a job just to make her stop. She listened to everything without interrupting and then said something I wasn't expecting. Let them finish building. I stared at her. If you stop construction. Now Cassandra's company declares bankruptcy. Your land gets tied up in 3 years of litigation with 96 families suing everyone, including you. But if you let them finish and then file for declaratory judgment, you own 96 completed houses. They've committed textbook fraud selling property they don't own. They'll be desperate to settle because the alternative is prison. It was cold and strategic and brutal, and it made perfect sense. I hired her that day and spent the next 4 months taking time-stamped photographs from the public road while families moved in and planted maple trees and hung Christmas lights on houses built on stolen ground. Lydia filed in January. At the first hearing, she handed the judge a single document that changed everything. An internal email from Preston Whitmore, Cassandra's husband, dated February 18, 2022. Subject line, Old Mill Road Property Risk Assessment. The Flint parcel is not abandoned. The owner has been paying property taxes continuously since 2019. Adverse possession claim won't hold up in court. However, if we move fast, file the claim, get permits approved, start selling lots before anyone notices, we can create enough chaos that Flint either settles cheap or gets buried in litigation costs. We've done this before. Risk level medium, reward level 16 million gross. They had known from the beginning. Judge Ramirez read the email and looked at Cassandra and Preston across the courtroom, and the confidence drained from their faces like water through cracked concrete. The trial lasted 7 hours. The title company had taken a $45,000 bribe from Preston to approve the fraudulent claim and flipped to our side when faced with losing their license. The ruling came the next morning, 18 pages. The first paragraph said everything I needed to read. The defendants engaged in a calculated systematic scheme to defraud Dakota, Flint, of his lawful property. Such conduct is reprehensible and will not be tolerated by this court. Full title to 47 acres, $4.2 million in damages. Criminal referral to the U.S. Attorney's Office. Preston was indicted on 6 federal fraud charges. Cassandra took a plea deal. The Range Rover went to auction. Their Aspen vacation home sold to pay creditors. I called a town hall meeting at Ridgeline Heights in March. All 96 families packed into the unfinished clubhouse Cassandra had promised but never built. Sarah Chen stood in the front row holding her daughter's hand, looking like a woman waiting to be told her life was over. "I'm not here to punish you for someone else's crime," I said. "You did nothing wrong. I transferred all 96 homes into a community trust. Every family keeps their house at the price they originally paid, 0 additional cost, 0 interest on remaining payments. The trust funds road maintenance and a scholarship in my grandfather's name for Colorado students studying engineering or forestry." Sarah Chen started crying before I finished the sentence. An elderly man named Rodriguez shook my hand so hard I thought my shoulder would come out of the socket. "Your grandfather raised you right," he said. I kept 5 acres for myself at the north end where the old growth pines Grandpa had refused to log still stand. Built a small cabin, 2 bedrooms, nothing fancy. Wake up every morning to pine and coffee and deer grazing outside the window. Sarah Chen's daughter sent me a crayon drawing last week. A stick figure holding a giant deed labeled Mr. Dakota. It's on my fridge held up by a magnet shaped like Colorado. I think about the note tucked inside Grandpa's deed sometimes. Don't let the bastards take what's yours. He was right. But what's mine isn't just land. It's knowing 96 families sleep safely in their homes tonight because I kept every receipt and refused to quit.